Hey everyone, my name is Ward. I'm the drummer for the Hall & Oates tribute Big Bam Boom, and we're going to take a few minutes and do a rig run through on the kit that I'm using for the 2023 tour. We are in beautiful Foley, Alabama at the gorgeous Oates Theater here on the Gulf Shores, and they were kind enough to let us have a few minutes this afternoon to do a quick rundown for you. People are going to say, why? We've never heard of you. You've heard of Hall & Oates though. I'm a very active member on the drum forums, and there's a lot of threads going around. One of our members recently started a thread with a rig rundown, and I thought, what a freaking great idea. We should all be doing that. Plus, I've been promising Punkinater Custom Drums a little bit of a love, and for this great kit that they built me. So I thought this was a good opportunity to run through it. The kit's really just a 5-piece kit with a 10, 12, 16 over a 20. I have more cymbals than the average bear, but it's because I hide my lack of talent behind cymbals. So I guess we'll just start with the drums. They're built by Jerry Punkin Pelfrey. The drums are Punkinators out of Chattanooga, Tennessee. A wonderful craftsman. Strange name, probably could blame his grandmother for that nickname. But Punkinator builds some fantastic drums. You may know them under his other brand. He markets and manufactures a line of stave shell snares and kits that are sold under the Pelfrey Drumworks banner. So you may know him either way, but the guy builds great drums, and if you're looking for some custom drum work, I heartily suggest you reach out to this guy. If the drums are a finish or they are a applied shell drum, then they're under the Punkinator brand. And since these are a sprayed lacquered finish, they are indeed Punkinators. They're actually, they start life as a thin 5-ply Keller tube that he cuts to his specific lengths. They're very thin, all maple, and then he adds his own maple rings, top and bottom, to the shells. And he alters a little bit. The 10s and 12s, the smaller the drum, the thicker the rings. The 10 and 12 has a 5-ply ring, top and bottom. The 16, the kick, have a 3-ply ring. So he alters a little bit as he goes, plus, he modifies the bearing edges to make everything kind of consistently speak as one set. The sizes are also just a little bit different. The 10 is a 7 3/4 by 10. It is an 8 1/4 by 12. This kit does have a 8 1/2 by 12. This kit does have an 8 3/4 by 13 that I don't use for this show. Then there is a 15 by 16 floor, and the kick is 15 depth with a 20-inch diameter. I had never used 20-inch kicks in my professional career, and the Punkinator kit that I had before this one, Jerry was really insistent that I try a 20-inch kick, and he was right. I've really become a huge fan. Very punchy, very focused, they're easy to tune, sound guys love them, and they fit under the bus really easy. So I'm a big fan of this, but that's just, it's a real basic kit. Let's walk around the back, we'll talk about the heads. Rusty, our MD here for the show, is helping me. He's my camera guy. Thank you, Rusty. The kit, everything is very specific on this set for the show. Everything is specifically sound driven. So every choice that I made, from the sizes, the shell composition, the heads, are obviously designed to recreate specific tones, specific sounds, something that maybe even if it's only speaking to me, I'm looking for that spark of inspiration that makes me dig in a little bit more and just try to pull all I can of myself out of here. So, with Hall & Oates, you're talking about a 40-year span of hits, but so much of the catalog that we cover is 70s and 80s. So the drums are very, very much tuned, and all the options are selected for that particular purpose. On the toms, we're running coated Emperors. We're running, on the Rezo side, they're all clear Ambassadors. The only muffling I use on the toms are the very thin Mylar tone rings from Remo. Again, I'm looking for that 80s pre-EQ'd sound. So that does it really, really nice without adding a lot of extra muffling. The snare is one of the very early generation Tama Star Reserve hand-hammered aluminum. And it's still in stock format. The only thing that I changed for this show, like hammered aluminum wasn't dry enough, I I dried it out even more with the Tama die-cast tubes, top and bottom. But the strainer, the carbon steel snares, everything is still exactly the same underneath. It runs a, I don't know why I just went blank. It runs a fiber skin ambassador weight on the batter, and then just a regular Remo SA on the bottom. The kicks, all of my kicks run a combination of aquarium heads on the kick. This is an Impact 2 on the batter with a regulator on the front. There's no muffling inside of the drum, other than what's built into the heads. But I do run a thick vinyl. Our decal on the front is actually not printed. It's a thick vinyl decal, so that also helps to pad down the sound just a little bit, I'm sure. So that's the kit. The kit's not unique or special, other than that they're handmade. He does a beautiful job. The finish is what he calls vintage sand. I kept calling it Bermuda sand, but it's pushed a little bit more towards the gold side. And I don't know. At first I thought it was maybe too gold, but once we get it under the lights, the thing it sparkles and shines. And it's a great color. So it's all sprayed and a polyester finish over the top and buffed within an inch of its life, and it's just a gorgeous kit. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate Punkin and building this kit for us. And again, Punkinater Drums. Find him on social media. You'll be happy you did. While I'm talking about drum builders, Punkin does not make steam bent solid ply shells, and this is a Summit. Let's turn that around. There you go. We're still not there. Past it. There it is. This is a 6x14 Summit Black Cherry. It's a single steam bent board made by Gary Posey in Summit County up in Ohio. I have a couple of these now, and I'm quite addicted. This is actually what I've just been playing this one so much. This is what's been going with this as a backup. That's a great first world problem to have when your backup snare is a single steam bent solid cherry drum. But yeah, you can find Gary on social media as well. Cymbals are easy. I'm a big fan of Turkish handmade cymbals. If I have the time, I'm old, fat, and it's hot in here. If I had the time, all of these hits that we're doing with Hall & Oates, they would have all been probably mid-century A Zildjians. They had so many great players that played on all the tracks, but most likely every one of those cymbals were 50s, 60s, 70s A's. If I had the time to hit 10,000 cymbals, I would have absolutely found a beautiful match set of thin larger diameter cymbals that would blend together well. I don't have either the money or the time. I don't have to. Istanbul Mehmet makes a beautiful line of cymbals that, while they list them as a jazz cymbal, they really do a great job of capturing that 70s A sound. It's the Istanbul Mehmet Nostalgia series, and that's what this kit is built around. You will see there's a Turkish brand on each side of the kit. It's actually the same. Istanbul Mehmet Tamager owns both brands, same foundry, same craftsman. So, they blend out really beautiful together. It's a pair of, I'll spare you the gram weights. That's probably a little too geeky. It's a pair of 15-inch Nostalgia hats. Starting from my right, there is a 17-inch Turkish vintage soul crash, a 16 Nostalgia crash. We jump across to an 18 Nostalgia crash and a 19 Turkish vintage soul crash. And then the ride is a 70 series 22-inch Nostalgia that, the old saying is true. I crash my rides and I ride my crashes, and this cymbal is one of the most versatile rides that I've ever had. It's at times it is my 5th crash, and it has still got a great bell. It's a wonderful instrument, and every year I think this thing ages in a little better. So that's the cymbals for this particular rig. Hardware, this is all Tama Road Pro on this kit. I'm a big fan of light single brace or flat bass hardware. But, when you're having to fly toms off of cymbal stands, I need a little bit more stability. So for me, the Road Pro is the right combination. It's the right, it's that intersection between strong, lightweight hardware that is not overly engineered. And I just don't want to have to haul around a bunch of heavy stuff because I'm still my roadie. So this is a really good choice for that, and that's what we use with this kit here. So I guess I'll talk about electronics and call it done. Electronics are simple. This show is not a tracked show. There's no tracks. There's no backing tracks. Everything we do is live. All the vocals are live. There's nothing that's sequenced in the show at all. The only thing that we have about half of the 2-hour show, it's Hall & Oates, has that old Roland CR drum box in it. So we play a lot of stuff is over a drum machine track, which is exactly how the records were done. Drum machine, everybody's playing live over the top. So if it's that 808 style drum machine, it's actually coming from the laptop over on the keyboard rig. And if it's just a percussion, just a loop, some congas, what have you, then it just comes out of this little Alesis SR16. And that's it. There's a foot pedal down here on the floor that I start and stop with. And I'll even kill it in the breaks of the song because it always comes back to the top of the measure. And that works really great. We don't trigger this kit. I love triggering, and I trigger almost all of my kits. But again, in this case, it's that very organic 70s, 80s look. Or not look, but sound. So we actually tune the kit every night, and it's mic'd. And when these drums sound this good, I don't really need to trigger. But the only thing that we have here for triggering is we fire some samples out of this little pad. No earthly idea what this thing is. I've had it 35 years. I think it's like melted Super Ball rubber. I don't even know what this is, but it's just a pad for firing samples out of this Roland TM6 Pro. When I do trigger, I do pull the triggers out of the Roland, but here it's just we're firing tambourines, hand claps. There's an electronic drum on Maneater. But that's it. This kit's actually not triggered at all. It's actually just played live every single night. There is no other electronics. A little Roland, a Tama 200 rhythm watch, paper song list. And in fact, our sax player and I today were just saying, a lot of people say, there's great apps for song list and metronome apps for your phone and your tablet. And I go, yes, I have some great apps for those, but apps fail. And as long as I keep a fresh battery in that Tama, it never lets me down. And as long as I can still read, I've got a paper list, so I'm never without. In fact, that's what this is. This little Mackie personal monitor is nothing but a fail-safe. So I've got everything in the monitor. I don't actually run very much in the monitor because I can hear well off of the stage. But the drum machine and the laptop, the signals are split in half, and there's a physical line hardwired to this monitor so that even if I lose the monitors, I physically am never going to worry about losing the tracks, losing the click, because I still have everything right here. Since it's all off the record, there's no concern about, I'm not having to wear in-ears because we're not doing something that we're trying to hide from the crowd. We're just listening to drum machines or percussion loops. They're hearing that in the house. So therefore, this can all just run open air, and I'm never in a bad place where I have to worry about losing signal. Oh, the last thing is, I guess I can't talk about equipment without the most insane, crazy purchase in the history of mankind, and that is this Porter Davies. This Porter Davies BC2 throne. This is a tactile throne from a company out of England. I've got a little inexpensive Nady large diaphragm mic laying in the kit. That's all this really is just a direct box. I could go ahead and it's active and passive. I could go ahead and send the house on from here. But from the kit, I've got a 150 watt amp and a speaker embedded in this throne. So this is designed to replace those very tactile, in the 80s when we were playing with big 18-inch subs under the stage and stacks of monitor on each side. Now that everybody's in here, we've lost that ability to move air. There is no more of that very physical, overstimulated drum sound. So this gives me the chance to feel that kick just like I still had a sub under the stage. And I've become so addicted to it, I don't even play casual jazz gigs unless I'm sitting on this stool. It is an insane purchase, and once you actually try it, you think, how in the world did I ever play without it? It really helps my focus, my center of the beat. I feel where we are in the groove as much as hear it. So it's a tremendous tool. I would suggest anybody that had a lot of money that you wanted to waste, right here is where you do it at. So there you go, guys. Sticks. I get asked about sticks. I'm a Regal tip player for years and years and years. The jazz tips are, they're not around anymore. So I did have Jeff Rich at Custom Drumsticks make me, this is his Regal tip version. This is his copy of the jazz. It's a little bit thicker through the shank and the shoulder. The balance is great, the length, the diameter's all right. It's a little bit thicker through the shank, and you can see I'm pretty hard on the shank anyway, with a little bigger nylon tip. And if you're playing nylon tip anyway, you're looking for that sound. So the larger nylon tip really works great. But that's it, guys. Thanks so much. Again, I want to thank Jerry Pelfrey for the beautiful kit. I just can't express how much he has meant to me and what he's done for me the last few years. Gary Posey at Summit Drums, Istanbul Mehmet cymbals. Guys, just everybody, we're just so thankful that to have you all on board. And if you're anywhere, keep watching your social media, follow my pages. If you're anywhere where Big Bam Boom is going to be in a city near you, take the time to come out and see us. If you're a drummer, reach out to me, let me know you're coming, and we'll talk drums and geek out a little bit before or after the show. But thanks, everybody. I appreciate you watching. Take care.